Hi everybody, this is Professor Diffley. This is Ethics in the Modern World, Philosophy 201. This is an overview video about your first paper for the class, the position paper. It covers the topic of eating animals, whether or not that is ethically permissible, which is the topic of Module 6. Just right off the bat, just remember that this is your only assignment for the week. There's no exam, there's no blog, just this paper. Why? Well, I want you to focus on the paper. And this is also a good practice. This is counted. It's not just a practice thing, but it's good to start working on these because this is what you're going to do on the final paper for the class, which is going to be a position paper. The only difference is it's going to be a little bit longer, but it's also going to be a topic you choose, right, rather than one I pick for you. I'll post about that later in the class. I'll give you possible topics. But back to this one. So position paper 1. So let's just go over the information for this. The due dates, due by the end of Sunday, December 5th. Paper must be submitted via Blackboard. You must upload it as a document attachment to Blackboard. Now, how do you do this? You see I created a new assignments quick link over here, a new section of the course. The way you do it is you click on the title here, Position Paper 1, Eating Animals. Click on it. This is how you begin to upload. And you need to browse your local files on your machine. That's what it means. And attach them, or if it's on the cloud, and attach it. Now, very, very important. Do not write your submission. Do not click this Write Submission button, which gives you a text box like you would for a blog. Do not do that. Do not write it in the comments. I'm only going to accept uploaded documents. Why do I want it uploaded? Part of this is also checked by plagiarism checking software, SafeAssign, which is built into Blackboard. So you need to upload it there. It also allows me to comment better on your papers, right, to give feedback when it's uploaded, because I could actually, since we're not in person, I could write something in the middle of the page, right, about a sentence or things like that. Blackboard lets me do that. So, but yeah, it uses SafeAssign plagiarism checking software. Don't get too freaked out about that. But obviously you should not be cheating at all and plagiarizing. So write in your own words. Some more requirements for this. Again, they got to be typed. Obviously, if you're uploading it, it's got to be double spaced and use 12-point font as well as standard margins. The standard margins, just don't touch anything, in the margins for the paper. That's what the standard margins are, and you'll be fine with that. 12-point font, make sure there. I prefer Times New Roman, but if we want to use a different type of font, that's fine. Use Calibri or Arial, something like that. So, very important here too is the word count, a required word count, at least 750 words, right? That's the minimum. This excludes name, title, citations, headings, things like that. But yeah, 750 words. This is a hard minimum. If you don't match it, reach at least 750, you can't earn passing credit on this. So that means, 700 words, not good enough. Anything below 750 is not it. That's the minimum. So meet it. If you answer this, put a little effort in, you're going to find it's not hard to reach that at all. There's no real max word count, but, you really shouldn't be writing like 3,000 words or more or anything like that, for this. If you really want to, go for it, but, again, you don't have to do that. Most I think will come in between 750 and 1,000 words, which really isn't that much. Most of you blow past that on your blogs, which are only a minimum word count of 500. Most of you write much more than that. So you'll see it's not that hard to reach that. Use citations too. You must use citations. So wherever an idea isn't coming directly from your head, and originally, you got to provide a citation. You can cite to the textbook, you can cite to lecture slides, the required videos, things like that. But you must use citations. It's up to you how you want to do them. Footnotes is the best way to do them. And you can do that using the insert footnote tool in Microsoft Word. There's also one in Google Docs. You could also do them in text, in parentheses after the, after the sentence, where the citation comes. I honestly believe you should use, Footnotes, that is honestly the preferred way in most academic fields. I know they sometimes teach you a different one. And also in professional fields, I know they sometimes teach different ways here in some of the English classes, which is a shame. But if that's the only way you know, go with that. But otherwise, footnotes is the preferred method for most. So spelling and grammar count, obviously. You must give your paper title. You also must include an introduction and conclusion. I mean, that's your paper should not be one giant paragraph. A good rule of thumb is one idea, one per paragraph, right? One topic, one thing like that. It's also good just writing to have more paragraphs. It breaks up the reading, the more white space. So it creates this illusion when there's a scientific study on this. When you're reading it, the more paragraphs there are, it creates more white space on the page, and the brain is tricked into think it's not reading as much. It makes it easier to read. It makes it flow. So, it's, paragraphs should be like 5 to 7 sentences at least. That's really what you should be aiming, or, maybe even 10. But yeah, more paragraphs is always better. Do not give just one block paragraph. You should have an intro, which is your thesis paragraph, and then also a conclusion paragraph. So what is the paper? Paper's pretty straightforward. It is really based around the question, is it ethically permissible to eat non-human animals? Why or why not? And then you see there's some other questions we'll get into in a second. But let's just go through this, how you're going to do it. So first and foremost, you need to pick a position. Yes, it is permissible. No, it is not permissible. And then you need to justify it and analyze it and argue in favor of that position. So what does that mean? So you should say yes or no. Yes, it's ethical. No, it's not ethical. And then why? And then use the 3 main ethical schools, and those are the ones I want you to focus on: Kantian ethics, utilitarianism, and virtue ethics. So you should say in part of your paper what you should be doing is saying, according to Kantianism, they do find it or don't find it there, and then explain why and go through them. But you should base your view too. So you should analyze this question by all 3 of the ethical schools, but then pick one, whichever one backs your view, right? And so you really should try to base it on one of your these major ethical schools. You can't just say, yes, it's ethical because I like, bacon, which I do, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing, right? But you got to pick one of these in the end, but, analyze it from all of them. You'll notice with utilitarianism in the text, I do not talk about all of the utilitarianism schools. That's on purpose, but you still need to talk about, Bentham and Rule. Mills and rule utilitarianism. I just didn't want to give you all the info in the paper. So you got to go back and find some of that yourself. Go back to the chapter on utilitarianism. But yeah, you should also anticipate opposing arguments here, and argue against them. That's just a good rule when you're making an argument. And argumentative stuff is to say, people will say that it's and this is why it's shouldn't be permissible. But then, you need to get rid of that argument. So this is something they teach in law school, which is really, really useful in writing, is anticipating arguments, right? So you say the other side is going to say this, and then you say, but they're wrong because of this. That's what you should be doing here too, right? So say you pick Kantian ethics, and it says it's ethical to eat animals. And then utilitarianism and virtue ethics let's just say they say no. Well, you got to also say why they're wrong, right? So that's just a good way. And you could do each of that in a paragraph there. So what is it? So is it ethically permissible to eat non-human animals? Why or why not? Other questions you got to cover in there. If it is ethical to eat animals, are some animals off limits for eating? If so, which animals are out of bounds, which specific ones, and why? So here's the way, some people might say, yes, you can eat animals, but you should, you can eat fish, but you can't eat dolphin, right? Because it's a mammal or a whale, people, for whatever reason. People say, yes, you can eat animals, but you can't eat cats and dogs. Why? You can't, your argument can't be, oh, because I like my pet, my dog and my cat. You can't be, say cats are cute, so you shouldn't eat them. It's not a good argument. They're also not cute. But that's besides the point. Because, in some places in the world, they do eat animals that you might not think, okay, right? Can you eat bugs, that sort of thing? But you got to give a reason. You can't just say because it's cute, right? Why is it okay to eat a pig but not a dog? Why is it okay to eat chicken but not, I don't know, an eagle or something? It probably doesn't taste good. I'm just making stuff up that's there. But you got to, some people say you shouldn't eat primates. Well, why not? That sort of thing. You got to talk about that. Then you also got to talk, answer the question, are there or should there be limits on when or in what circumstances it is permissible to consume animals? Now, if you look at the text and the slides, I get into this there. Some people like Peter Singer will say, it could be ethical to eat animals. However, they must be humanely treated in life. So he opposed factory farms. And some people will say, yes, you can eat animals, but, they must be treated humanely during their lives, like are cruelty-free. But I got to argue why that is. But you also got to consider, so say, okay, yes, it's okay to eat animals, but you can't eat factory-farmed animals. Well, should that be a hard and fast rule? Should there be exceptions to that? Let's assume that factory-farmed animals are mass-produced, which they are, right? So the food will be cheaper. But not everybody can afford that. So, you could say, yes, you should avoid eating factory-farmed animals. However, if you are, poor or struggling in some way, exceptions can be made because you need to feed your kids and keep yourself alive, that sort of thing. So you got to think about all those. You also got to say, what are those limits and what justifies them? So, when you say that, if people are struggling financially, economically, exceptions could be made. They could eat animals that they know were cruelly slaughtered and cared for. And then you got to justify why why they should be allowed that exemption, or and in the same vein, argue why, say the upper middle class, upper classes, can afford it. So you gotta get those justifications and what are those limits there. So yeah, again, you're going to see as you go through this, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of this is covered in the text on purpose and in the lecture slides because you're your first one. But yeah, really, you have all week to do this. So I say start working on this soon. Again, the reading is light. There's an essay. There's a 2-page article, the short chapter, and the lecture slides, which are only 16 slides long, and only one video. And that's Peter Singer talking about his views for utilitarianism on that. So really not a lot there. But if you have any questions, reach out to me during the week. I'm happy to email back and forth with you. Talk about, we could meet via Zoom to discuss the paper and all that. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I really look forward to reading what you have to say and write. I've enjoyed reading your blogs, and I'm even more so looking forward to reading these. So again, yeah, just get in touch if you got any questions. All right, good luck, folks. I know you're all do great. Thank you.